What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Titans Tube. This is the Week 17 preview matchup between the Titans and Texans. And yes, I know what you're thinking. This game is meaningless. And yeah, it kind of is because we blew it last week against the Jaguars. Had we won that game, this game would have been incredibly meaningful for the division and playoff berth. But now the Texans have clinched the division with their win over the Bengals. For this episode, we brought back in our Texans fan and expert, Riley.
Welcome back,
Thank you for
Riley.
joining us again.
Thanks for coming back.
Here.
He had such a good time the first time, I guess, right?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
loved
I did.
being here? Yeah?
I did.
Okay, good.
He actually really wanted a rematch in Madden, so I can't wait to see how that plays out, because we kind of put it on him the last time, not
That
to
might have
like
been our best
talk
game of the
trash.
season.
And yeah, and I don't think he's been following, but we are terrible. We have lost to the computer multiple times, including recently we lost to the Jags last week.
And we've lost to Amy multiple times.
And we've lost to Amy multiple times. So he wants some revenge there. But thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for
And I guess congrats
Thank
for
you.
winning the division.
Your team really showed
That's a really heartfelt applause. Thank you.
all right, that's enough. Yeah, but good accomplishment, right? AFC South champs for the
Yeah.
second year in a row.
Yeah, we're the best of the worst, I guess. As long as the Titans are in our division, the
Hmm.
Jaguars are in our division, and the Colts are just keep getting worse.
That's always a
I think we're going
hope.
to continue
We
to
can-
be at the top of the worst division of football. But we'll take it. We'll go to the playoffs.
You'll
Hopefully
take it.
Score at least 8 points in the playoffs this year.
That would be
But
an
time will tell.
improvement over last season.
Mhm.
Ha!
Try to get at least one.
Do you
get 1 point.
Do you think that you guys more win the division, or that the other teams actually lose the division and give it to you?
Well, I think we
'Cause I
all
kinda think
Did you earn it? Did you really earn it when you saw the Bengals field goal kicker line up and
Well, I think that
missed that last one?
we all lose the division. We just lost it less than the other three.
That's a good way to put it.
So
I actually really like
They
that.
lost
Yeah.
it the least
we lost
of all
it
the other
least, and
teams.
so now we have to play in the playoffs.
At the very
Against a
least,
good team.
I apologize. The Titans couldn't make this a fun, exciting winner-take-all scenario because we laid a dud against the Jaguars. Would have been fun, even if we didn't have Mariota. I like our chances with Matt Cassel. You guys are starting a backup quarterback as well.
Yeah, so we have the ultimate matchup: Matt Cassel versus Tom Savage, the Texans. Who would
Would've
have
been a
ever
good
thought?
one.
With what this game could have been,
Oh,
this has to be like the worst version you could have imagined. It could have been Mariota versus Osweiler for first in the division, and instead it's Texans have already clinched it, a Matt Cassel versus Tom Savage game. Wow, what a thriller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got to be honest. I didn't know Matt Cassel was on the Titans until I saw him come in the game.
He hadn't
Last
played.
week.
He hadn't really played all season
He
until
had
he
thrown
came in
one
for Mariota.
pass. He threw one pass against the Jags the first time we played them, and when we were blowing them out, and then fitting he came back in against the Jags, and
But regardless,
that's history.
I know you guys just won the division, but I still want to win this game.
Yeah.
I want to crush you guys. You guys have not lost against an AFC South opponent this year, which is really y'all's bread and butter.
Yeah, we're 5-0 against the bad teams of the league. So I guess that's good.
The Titans are
Better than the
1-4.
alternative.
Yeah, and they say defense wins championships, which is your
Yeah.
strong point, I guess.
Pretty impressive. Yeah, your defense. I looked at the stats today. Did you realize they have allowed the least amount of yards in the NFL? They're number
Really?
one.
Yeah.
Number one in defense overall. And that's without J.J. Watt. Who's been the difference on your defense? Without J.J. Watt, who's like the face of the defense now?
Well, Jadeveon Clowney, I think, is the only Texan going to the Pro Bowl this year.
He's stepped up this year.
Up,
He
and then
did
it's
step
kind of we've traditionally over the past 5 or 6 years have had good defenses. It's always been offense, which has been difficult. So with Clowney stepping up and kind of taking over for J.J. Watt, I mean, it's kind of the same old story for the Texans.
Man.
It's almost like the Luck Peyton Manning situation in Indy. And not J.J. Watt will come back, but Indy loses Peyton Manning. They have one bad year, then they immediately replace him with Andrew Luck. J.J. Watt's injured, and all of a sudden Jadeveon, is that how you say it? Jadeveon Clowney has the best year of his career so far, and looks like the next J.J. Watt. In the games I've watched him, he doesn't produce the numbers, but he disrupts so much stuff going on in the backfield, chasing the quarterback out of the pocket, stopping the run. So it's not just sack numbers and turnovers and fumbles like J.J. Watt's capable of, but it's the small stuff.
Yeah.
He's making a huge difference.
You guys have some good players though. Like Brian Cushing is good when he's healthy.
Yeah.
Bernardrick McKinney,
Yep.
is that how you say it?
Yep.
He's had a
Whitney
good
Merciless.
Merciless.
Coolest defensive name in the entire NFL by far.
So what do you think about this game? Coming into it, Week 17, you guys have already clinched the division, starting Tom Savage. Yeah. So we'll get into that. But what do you think about this game in general? How do you think you'll play, or how do you think you should play?
And are all of your players going to be playing? Do you know of anybody that may be resting, sitting this one out?
I don't know of anybody that's going to be resting. I think this game is important because we could potentially unless I'm incorrect, could get the 3 seed in the AFC instead of the 4th seed. So I think they're playing to win this game. And it depends. I think our defense is going to play well because it typically does, especially with Mariota being out. I think a lot of it depends on which version of Tom Savage we're going to see. Because he came in the Jacksonville game, played really well. First half of the Bengals game, he played terribly, and then the second half he played decently. So it just depends on which version of Tom Savage we get.
So over the course of the season, the storyline obviously with the Texans has been their $70 million quarterback, Brock Osweiler, finally getting benched. Should have happened earlier, honestly, from a Titans perspective. But so what do you think about this? Do you want Tom Savage leading the team into the playoffs, or would you rather go with Brock? And then also, who do you see for the future, like next year, possibly? What's going to happen in the offseason, in your opinion?
I think unless Tom Savage plays really, really terribly, he'll be the quarterback in the playoffs. And I think that Bill O'Brien and the front office really need to do a lot of soul searching over the offseason to see if they want to give Brock another chance. He's had almost a full season with the Texans and had games that he was okay, but if okay is the best you got in the whole season, I mean, I think that's unacceptable. The only reason they would consider going back to him is the amount of money they're paying him. And as a fan, that's a terrible reason to put a guy in. So
agreed.
I think Tom Savage is going to kind of be the guy going forward.
Yeah. So even into next year?
That would be my prediction. Yeah, if I had to make a prediction of what they were going to do, I think Tom Savage would be the guy.
The starting quarterback of 2017, I guess. 2017, 2018.
If he plays well and he makes maybe a little run in the playoffs, he could definitely.
A lot of people like Tom Savage coming out of college. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But if not, maybe look in the draft or something, or maybe try to fix Brock.
I just don't know if you...
It's still impressive though. You guys, $70 million quarterback, it turned out not to be that good, and then losing J.J. Watt, and you guys still won the division.
Still have a top 5 defense, even without Defensive Player of the Year multiple times, and
could end up
the odds were against you,
winning 10 games.
That's incredible. We were almost there.
You haven't won 10 yet. Let's pump
the
brakes. Pump the brakes.
We could finish at 9-7, miss the playoffs after coming off a 2-14 and a 3-13 season. So I'll take that, even though we didn't get to the playoffs. It's going to be an interesting game. Lamar Miller is questionable. I don't know if dealing with an injury, but he's had a good year all season. Over 1,000 yards. Obviously, we have DeMarco Murray. So running games are pretty strong for both teams. Fun stat right here that I learned looking at this. But our leading receivers for both teams have the same amount of yardage. DeAndre Hopkins has 831 yards. Rashard Matthews has 831 yards.
Weird. I would not have predicted that going into the season.
Isn't that weird?
Who has more touchdowns?
Rashard Matthews has 4 more touchdowns than Hopkins, and he's done it on only 56 receptions, where it's taken Hopkins 71 receptions.
That's more efficiency.
Very just interesting stat when you're looking at the storylines for both teams over the course of the season. So that's a fun stat.
Poor DeAndre Hopkins, though, for real. He deserves to have a decent quarterback throw to him in his career.
Yeah, I think I heard a stat the other day that Brock Osweiler is last in the league in yards per attempt.
I can believe that.
Either he's throwing a ball incomplete or he's throwing a short pass, and that's it.
And if he does complete it, it's probably not going for many yards.
Exactly.
Either way, this will be an interesting game. I don't think it's one the Titans are going to give up on, even after the crushing loss to the Jags. I think we want to come out. We want to put it to the Texans, kind of show the league. We were already starting to show the league that we're starting to get more national recognition. But if we put it to the Texans right here at home, and then carry that into the offseason, I think people will think us as a threat for next year in the division. We want to start 2017 off with a win.
Well,
right. And this game is January 1st, so we can do it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are really high on John Robinson, and several weeks ago, most people I think were picking the Titans to win the division. So, kind of on the upswing.
And we couldn't even make it to the last game of the season to decide it.
That's 16 games of meaningful football is the most we've played in many a season. So I will take that this year. Yeah. It's been a successful year, even coming down to this last game.
Yeah.
So you want to get into some predictions?
Yeah, but I think, can we all agree that we're both happy that the Colts didn't win the division?
Yes,
can we agree?
Are happy the Colts did not.
Let's find some common ground here.
I don't hate the Colts like you guys do.
Man,
I like Andrew Luck.
Did you enjoy the years when Peyton Manning and was destroying the Titans and Texans and Jags for decades?
No, but when he was doing that, everybody was beating the Texans. So if I base everything on that, then I would have hatred for
that. Was good times. Yeah.
So going into the playoffs, since you guys have already made it, you're gonna get the 3 or 4 seed hosting a home playoff game either against the Dolphins or either the Chiefs or the Raiders. Out of those 3 teams, which one would you want to play the most, and which one would you want to play the least, I guess?
Well, initially I said I'd rather play the Dolphins,
Yeah.
but you guys brought a good point about Derek Carr's injury, so I still think I'd rather play the Dolphins, even though
They don't have their quarterback
gotten a lot
either.
better.
Tannehill should still be hurt.
I'd least rather play the Chiefs because we beat them somehow at the beginning.
You
of the
did
year
beat them
already,
early on.
And they crushed us in the playoffs last year. So I would
they're-
more likely rather play.
It could be a revenge game for you guys, though. Texans Chiefs
Yeah,
wild card weekend.
we don't
It's your
win
turn to
revenge games.
turn it
We don't-
around,
we
man.
don't do
Tom
that.
Savage.
We don't do that. We don't win revenge games. We don't win games that matter. We need to play the worst team we can find. So it's got to be the Dolphins without Tannehill, hopefully.
Yeah. Because I still think the Raiders without Carr, they have a really strong offensive line. I think if they protect Matt McGloin, I think he can still get the job.
And they could win it with their run.
Matt McGloin is their backup.
McGroin, I like to say.
McGloin.
Pat McGroin.
So who you going with? What's your prediction for the game?
I predict the Texans.
Oh,
I think they're playing for a little bit more, and I think that we have who is more likely to be a long-term quarterback. You know, he's unproven. Matt Cassel's got unproven.
Savage.
And then I just think we're going to rely on our defense. It'll be a low-scoring game, and I think the Texans are going to win.
you picked the Texans last time too. You were on the show and you were correct.
That was correct.
Yeah.
So we were wrong. Justin.
It's come down to the last game, man. This is it. I've gone with the Titans for 16 straight weeks.
And we
Is
have
that going to change?
We have over a 500 record on that.
And we do.
So far.
Just to point that out. That's not too bad.
So even if I'm wrong, I still can finish with 500 record.
Yeah.
So that trend is not going to break today. I got the Titans winning this game. Did you have a score prediction? Did you
I
say
didn't. I think I said 17-10 last time. I'll stick with that. 17-10.
17-10 again?
Texans.
Ugly.
See that score.
Ugly score.
Yeah.
I was also going to have a 7-point difference, except the Titans win it 24-17.
You know what? I think this game's going to be super ugly. I think both teams, even though they say it's, they're going to come out and play, I think it's going to show that they're both ready for the offseason or the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think both offenses are going to struggle behind the backup quarterbacks. I think it's going to be 10-6 Titans.
That's a boring game.
Defensive struggle.
I'll
I
take
mean,
it,
I
though.
don't see us putting up a whole lot of points with Matt Cassel back there against that top 5 defense. And I don't see Tom Savage putting up a lot of points against our defense, who has been playing well as of late, minus last week.
Hopefully it'll be fun. It'll be New Year's. Be exciting in that regard.
There'll be enough going on in the world to distract us from the hideous nature of the game. Hopefully.
That's true.
Well, best of luck to you in the playoffs.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming back for this last
Thanks for winning
seasonal
the division
game.
again.
This preview episode could have been so hype,
Yeah.
and it just was let down by the
It's
Titans. Anyways, like we said earlier, rematch in Madden. Earlier we beat Riley. I don't know which week. What week did we play him? Week 5, we beat Riley in the Madden matchup, and he really wants a rematch. So obviously the rosters have been adjusted. He'll be dealing with Tom Savage. We'll be working with Matt Cassel.
All right, last game of the year, we're gonna update all the rosters.
I did.
All the
I
rosters?
updated the starting quarterback. So let's go play that, and we'll see how it does. And that obviously determines the game because last week we lost to the Jaguars, and they ended
I
up
feel like
pulling
we
a
let down the
miracle out
whole
of our-
entire franchise, the whole team.
I did. So let's not do it this time.
Let's just own him.
Let's
just
sweep the series
lay-
between us and Riley.
Lay the hammer down. Yeah.
Wish me luck.
Don't do it.